you ever felt like life was spinning out of control? Like you're on a roller coaster with no brakes? One moment you're on top of the world, and the next you're crushed by a single text message, a bad day at work, or someone's careless words. Yeah, we've all been there. But what if I told you there's an ancient philosophy older than the Roman Empire that holds the key to mastering your emotions, your reactions, and even your love life? Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. It helps us bring Stoic wisdom to more people like you. And make sure you watch till the end, because the way Stoicism can transform your relationships might just surprise you. Let me tell you a story. It's the year 65 AD in Rome. The philosopher Seneca sits in his villa, moments away from taking his own life, not out of despair but out of duty. Emperor Nero, paranoid and power-hungry, has ordered Seneca to die. Most of us, faced with this order, would be filled with rage, fear, or maybe even begging for mercy. Not Seneca. He calmly prepares, comforts his weeping friends, and reminds them of the Stoic truths he's lived by all his life. Death is not an evil. It's simply a part of nature. He slices his veins open not in desperation but in peace. Why? Because he believed that we should not fear what we cannot control. That's Stoicism. And it's not about suppressing emotions or being cold-hearted. It's about building an unshakable inner fortress, one that lets you stand calm in the chaos. And yes, it can radically improve how you love, argue, and connect with others. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's back up. What is Stoicism, really? Stoicism began around 300 BCE in Athens. It wasn't born in the ivory towers of philosophy classrooms, but on the streets, literally. The founder, Zeno of Citium, began teaching in a public place called the Stoa Poikile, the painted porch. That's where the name Stoicism comes from. Zeno wasn't rich. In fact, he became a philosopher after losing everything in a shipwreck. With nothing left, he sought meaning, not in wealth, but in wisdom. And what he taught was revolutionary. At the heart of Stoicism is this idea: we don't control external events, but we do control our minds, our reactions, and our choices. That's it. That's the boundary line between misery and peace. There's a famous Stoic exercise. Imagine losing everything you love: your job, your home, even the people you care about. It sounds brutal, I know, but the Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. The goal wasn't to make yourself anxious, it was to prepare yourself emotionally. So when challenges did come, you wouldn't be destroyed by them. Think about how that applies today. A friend ghosts you. A partner leaves. Your boss yells at you unfairly. Most of us react immediately. Anger, sadness, spiraling thoughts. But the Stoic doesn't. Why? Because they've trained themselves to respond, not react. To pause and ask, is this within my control? And if not, why am I giving it my energy? That's power. Real power. Now you might be thinking, okay, that sounds cool in theory, but how does that help me in real life, like with my relationships? Glad you asked. Let me tell you another story. This one's more recent. Marcus, a regular guy in his early 30s, stumbled across Stoicism after a brutal breakup. His partner had left him without warning. No closure, no explanation. He was spiraling, checking his phone every few minutes, analyzing old texts, asking, what did I do wrong? Then he found a quote by Marcus Aurelius: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Something clicked. Instead of obsessing over what he couldn't change, her feelings, her choices, he turned inward. He journaled every day. He asked himself, what's my role in this suffering? Am I feeding it or facing it? Little by little, he started healing. He stopped blaming, stopped clinging. And for the first time in his life, he understood that real love isn't about control. It's about clarity. He wasn't just recovering from heartbreak. He was becoming someone new. That's what Stoicism does. It's not a magic cure. It's a slow, steady process of becoming unshakable. So let's get into the core of Stoicism, the 4 virtues. 1. Wisdom, the ability to navigate life clearly, to know what truly matters. Stoics constantly ask, what's in my control? They seek truth, not comfort. 2. Courage, not just battlefield bravery, but the courage to be honest, to face discomfort, to admit when you're wrong. 3. Justice, treating others fairly, acting with integrity, and doing what's right even when it's hard. 4. Temperance, self-control, balance, the ability to resist overindulgence in food, in pleasure, in anger. These aren't just lofty ideas. their daily practices. For example, Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the greatest Stoic teachers, taught his students to visualize hardship every day, not to be pessimists, but to build resilience. He said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly." That's radical acceptance. Not passive, not weak, but clear-eyed. Imagine applying that to your love life. How many arguments stem from unmet expectations, from demanding someone be different than they are? Now picture letting go of that, not lowering your standards, but freeing yourself from the need to control. There's a kind of peace in that, a confidence that's magnetic. And that's why Stoicism is so powerful, not just for surviving heartbreak, but for becoming a better partner, friend, and human being. Let's break down a few practical things you can do today to live more stoically. 1. Morning reflection. Start your day by asking, what might go wrong today? How will I respond? This isn't negativity, it's preparation. 2. The dichotomy of control. Throughout the day, remind yourself, is this in my control? If not, let it go. If yes, take action. 3. Evening journaling. Reflect at night. What did you do well? Where did you slip? What will you do better tomorrow? 4. Voluntary discomfort. Try going without something you enjoy for a day. Cold showers, fasting, walking instead of driving. It builds mental toughness. 5. Amor fati. Love of fate. Don't just accept what happens, embrace it. See everything as fuel for growth. These are simple, but powerful. Now, some critics say Stoicism is emotionless, that it tells you to bottle everything up and be a robot. They couldn't be more wrong. Stoicism teaches emotional intelligence, not suppression. Marcus Aurelius felt deeply. Seneca cried. Epictetus cared passionately about justice, but they didn't let emotions rule their lives. They felt fully and chose wisely. There's a story of Cato the Younger, another Stoic, who stood up to Julius Caesar and fought for the Roman Republic, knowing full well he'd lose. He chose principle over power. When defeat was certain, he chose death over submission. Not because he lacked feeling, but because his values ran deeper than fear. And here's the kicker. Stoicism doesn't promise that life will be easy. In fact, it says the opposite. Life will challenge you. People will betray you. Plans will fall apart. But you can remain steady. You can be the calm in the storm. Not by accident, but by training, daily, intentionally. That's the Stoic path. And it's not just for monks or philosophers. It's for anyone who wants to live with more clarity, more peace, and yes, even more love. Because when you stop trying to control others, when you let go of expectations, when you focus on your own virtue and actions, you become magnetic. You love without clinging. You give without fear. You live with power. And that's something the world desperately needs. So if you're tired of being tossed around by life, if you want to build something stronger inside you, if you're ready to meet pain with purpose and love with clarity, then welcome. You're already on the Stoic path. Make sure you subscribe for more insights like this, because this journey is just beginning. Drop a comment below. What part of Stoicism resonates with you the most? And who do you think needs to hear this today? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.